And we're
Good
back.
evening, sir. Doctor.
Welcome back, everyone.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Oh,
Your son wished to die, Beatrice. Why did you hide such crucial information?
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in jail. I can't let that happen. I won't.
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Okay, I totally agree with her there.
What can you tell me about...
Not much.
What do you think of you?
I have
Is this...
some of...
Sorry, just checking for more.
We got another hint. There should be
Goodbye,
one
Mrs.
somewhere. But it might be further along in the tree, the tree
Good
that we
evening,
haven't
Mr.
I'm
unlocked.
okay.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared information about your case. Shall we call this progress?
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Goswick?
I wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
Interesting.
I have to go now.
Good evening, sir.
I have to imagine that she's right
Good
there. That wasn't a particularly quiet conversation.
Goodbye, Mrs. Go.
Oh no. And that's
what?
part of the sloppiness of this. Like, this story is a little on the sloppy side.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I am feeling like I want to finish this quest line.
Yeah, that seems like a good one. I would too. This is one I wouldn't want to... I don't really like leaving this kind of thing alone.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
I will talk to him when later on.
Right. I do like stories that make me care about the people involved, but this one is just kind of like very sloppy, like you said. And
Execution needs a little work.
yeah, I will admit I am totally on her side about things like the punishments for situations like that.
He's really pissed me off this time.
It's like the addiction. It's like,
Hey!
I'll wait till you've given the monster
I have
his
found
his
a
fangs.
gift from your wife.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future crimes.
Who knows what I might do now I feel invincible again.
Okay. Lovely.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox.
This place is full of sickness and...
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
He is really pushing the let's eat him.
I'll leave you.
Um, the addiction thing we're going back to the opiate issue is another thing. Like making it illegal to take the drug just prevents people from getting help from it.
Oh yes.
All you're
I
doing
mean,
is isolating them and making it worse.
I mean, if I was of a conspiratorial bent, I would almost say that criminalizing drugs and things like that was the point of...
I think that's been fairly well proven that, like, at least marijuana and a couple others was...
Oh, marijuana for certain. Like,
Yeah.
We have tapes of Nixon and other people talking about that.
Yeah, there was a guy that made his career off of prohibition, and when prohibition came to an end, he's like, I need to find something else to get up my burr about. It's like, well, there's this drug that isn't as big with white people. We could make that illegal.
I mean, part of it was white people, but it was also non-conservatives.
Right. It was in general, it was like, this is a drug that isn't very popular with people well, at the time, the people it was popular with weren't ones that were concerned with. Like the alcohol, that was the big thing.
And then it got extended to harder drugs. Sorry. Apparently Jonathan has
Emotions.
deeper feelings about that.
I want you to know that I'm probably not going to read this all.
In this letter,
let's
Mortimer
not.
Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
What? Why?
Why?
Why would this is like the love letter thing, but who should I give it to? It's like, what kind of direction did you give the voice actors?
What are you writing? Who is Jonathan Reed? Are you... The only reason I can see why you would give the mother that perhaps there's a whole thing about shocking the mother into realizing that there's a problem, but she knows there's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it is almost definitely like the Strickland and at Auckland thing,
Yeah.
where neither one of them is conceived as badly as they come off.
Yeah.
But
What is this doing in...
why is this here? Wait, why is his house a hideout?
I mean, that kind of makes sense. If they're not going to be here for a while because the son's getting treated, then
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like,
it makes sense that you would...
it's like the family that's away on vacation for several months or whatever.
Yeah. Also, that flickering light can go away expeditiously.
That was a little bit unnecessary.
Is this just his home? The mother doesn't live here?
I'm guessing.
I mean, it'd have to be because they're rich, right?
Right. There's no reason she would live here.
There's no reason he would live here. Like,
Why? I mean, unless he's like bound and determined to like make it on his own or whatever.
I mean, I think, and why is this a keep out?
On both sides.
On both sides. Anyhow, let's forget about those things for a moment. I guess he doesn't take care of the place. Like, that is a depression thing.
Very, yeah.
But that being said, I honestly would have found it more poignant if he'd been living at home and the place was spotless. Except for little bits and pieces.
You know, things out of place here and there. The shoes not lined up properly.
Alright.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
She's right there.
I have retrieved your letter, Mr. Goswick. I can assure you that nobody read it but me.
Thank you. This is for you, then. For your help. And for your silence.
I think you should talk to your mother. It would be good for both of you.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. I'll think about it. Now, please, let me be.
I think a better choice would have been picking it up and deciding whether you have read it, whether you're going to read it or not.
Yeah.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
I like pain as a precious tool. You know, the thing of pain is a sign something's wrong. If you don't do anything about it, then it just is going to keep telling you something's wrong.
The world is bleak, but maybe the pain we feel is the best compass for making it a better place.
How can we repair the world, Dr. Reed, when mankind is the biggest problem? Yes, the world will be a much better place when we're gone.
I like the way they had Jonathan express
I have to
that.
go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor.
Wow. No. Why?
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing suicide. Tell me more about what you know.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
Why did your son feel so useless when facing the world?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life. He couldn't help but dwell on such things.
I mean, that...
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed. It's like he carries everyone's sadness with him.
Okay, she's coming across much less... She's getting my... She's not getting my hackles up anymore.
Yeah.
You went quiet suddenly again.
Is that better?
Yep, that's better.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop fighting for my son's future. That's how much I love him.
Yeah.
You're right. Your son's death was not fatal. And unlike many on their own, he is lucky to have you by his side.
I can't give up on him.
You couldn't see
Just
my
can't.
face as that subtitle
I
came
have
up, but it was
considered
like,
many
what?
times in my life, but giving up on my son is something I am incapable of.
They don't have the excuse of that being a cultural thing, like people die when they are killed. they, that's not an established expression or form of speech. That was just weird.
I love it. Your son's death was not fatal.
Oh, God.
I'm going to assume that if I pick this, he's not going to just read the note to her.
We've already given it away, so we can't give it. But I don't know. This game is so zigzaggy in quality.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before, but I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life, but I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Oh.
Goodbye, Mrs. Gossip.
That's...
Good evening, Miss.
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's...
Your mother won't let you down, Mortimer. Don't you share her hope for a better future?
No. I don't.
Won't you even try?
Do you want me to promise you I'll get better? Do you want me to tell her the same thing? I could, but it would not change anything.
He reminds me very much of those memes, like where they show like where they discuss some vast thing of the universe and say, doesn't it make you feel insignificant?
I have to go now, sir.
I'm alright.
He's like
Waste your
looking at
time with me.
the massive problems of reality and society, and is upset with himself that he, a single person, can't fix everything.
Yeah, that hits a bit too close to home for me.
I mean, same.
Yeah.
That's like daily burden of living in sometimes.
Mhm.
Good evening, sir.
Do we want to head to? Let's talk to this guy next
Yeah.
time.
Okay, we got about 5 more minutes on this video if you want to talk to him now.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good plan. We'll get a new quest and be all like, oh crap, we've got a new quest.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Oh, I think we've heard about this guy before.
Yeah, no, we have done this the quest line. This is the patient that the other guys were arguing about. We never went and asked him.
Right.
We are terrible doctors.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
Yes, we don't want to start spilling all that precious, precious red, beautiful blood.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
It's interesting that they have this thing where you can unlock hints about a person in conversation with that same person. It seems counterintuitive to the way they designed the game, the trees in the game.
Yeah. I would also like to point out, he's healthy.
Yep.
Case closed, he can go home.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Did the Germans bomb London during World War
World
One?
War One? Can you look that up? I need to know.
German strategic bombing during World War One. Using airships, Zeppelin raids.
Zeppelins, okay.
They used Zeppelins to bomb Britain during World War One.
Mm-hmm.
There's a British propaganda poster that is a flaming
Tell me-
Zeppelin
Oh, wow.
saying the end of the baby killer. Okay.
Just... I don't want to make more insensitive jokes, but this one's too easy. I'm just imagining this slowly crawling Zeppelin that... Okay, no, I'm...
You can't hold yourself
I will
responsible for your
admit,
injury, Mr. Fiddick.
World War One
Unless you
German
tried to
Zeppelins
hurt
were
yourself.
Of course I didn't
horrific.
hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need
And
to eat.
fairly
Doctor.
well armed.
Well, we've all learned something here today.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
So, with that established, new video.
Yeah, I think one more and then maybe switch to control.
Sounds good to me.